You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. My name is Chase Sr. Thanks for hanging out here with us. Coming up, Eagles Commanders on Saturday. I'm going to give you my keys to the game, top matchups to watch, what the Eagles must do to win this game, and I'll give you my prediction as well. This is going to be a rare Saturday game. And when you think about this Eagles 2025 schedule, they have played on Monday, they've played on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So an odd schedule in which the Eagles have had a lot of short weeks. They've played a lot of playoff caliber teams. They are certainly battle tested going into the postseason. Philadelphia 6.5-point favorites. That line has gone up about a half point, and the over-under for this game at 44.5. How the Commanders stack up. Jaden Daniels out for the rest of the year. Marcus Mariota, the former Eagle and Heisman Trophy winner from Oregon, will be the starting quarterback for Washington the rest of the way. The Commanders this season, frustrating year offensively because of the injury to JD and the overall lack of offensive production. They haven't been a consistent team regardless of who the quarterback has been. 24th in points per game, 18th in yards per game, 12th in yards per play, 18th on third downs. They're number 3 in the red zone. And last year, they're also good there and on third and fourth down. Defensively, the production, not good, especially for a defensive-minded head coach. 26th in points per game, 31st in yards per game. So Philadelphia should be able to move it here. 31st in yards per play. Could Philadelphia string together some explosives as well? 23rd on third downs, 28th in the red zone. You flip the page to the Eagles here. 18th in points per game at 22.9. 22nd in yards per game, 17th in yards per play, 23rd on third downs. And all year, they've been the most efficient red zone offense in the NFL, something that the Eagles have been able to hang their hats on. And then on defense, Vic Fangio is doing a heck of a job, man. 6th in points per game, 14th in yards per game, 10th in yards per play, 22nd on third downs, 4th in the red area. As far as my keys to the game, top matchups to watch, this Philadelphia Eagles offense needs to keep it rolling. And if they have a performance like they did against the Raiders, I think this Eagles fan base is really going to rally around this team, and a lot of Eagles fans are going to start to believe that this team can go back-to-back. And coming off that Raiders game and the Chargers game, I've been encouraged with what the Eagles have done, what they've accomplished, and some of the things they've experimented with on the offensive side of the pill against Las Vegas. Jalen Hurts coming off his struggle since the bye week. Sharp, decisive, and efficient. He was very dynamic with his legs. We saw under-snap efficiency. And I just like, from a conceptual standpoint, play designs, the scheme, play calling. Philadelphia's been smart, creative, and modern day. Credit to this coaching staff for being able to make in-season adjustments. And I thought against Las Vegas, the pass and the run game was balanced. I like some of the things they did against the Chargers, but they were way too pass-heavy. And I thought against Las Vegas, they found that identity which worked last year. Being a balanced offense, having success on the ground, but also having some explosive and impressive plays through the air. And from a downfield route developing point of view, I like some of the things that the Eagles were able to devise. For the quarterback in Jalen Hurts, injured his ankle a little bit against Las Vegas, not going to be a worry for this game against Washington. And so when you think about Hurts, I think it's really important, obviously, for him to play in this game. But he's the leader of the cavalry, right? He's the leader of this team, the leader of this offense. This Eagles team needs to put together as many good and solid performances as possible from here on out to kind of gain that confidence, boost that morale, get the rhythm and the momentum going toward the NFL playoffs. You know that you have a Super Bowl caliber defense. If the offense can catch up a little bit, this team is really dangerous. And so why Hurts' health is important, offense coming off a game in which they dropped 31 points. The last 2 games, a lot of positive signs from this unit. The playoffs are right around the corner. Find a rhythm and peak late. This Raiders game, I think, can get the Eagles offense rolling. They just needed a confidence boost here, and you want Hurts to play better and this offense to gain steam going into the big dance. Key to the game number 2, matchup to watch number 2. The Eagles pass rush against the Commanders offensive line. This Commanders offensive line was a problem last year. They got bullied up front in the trenches by the Eagles, especially in the NFC Championship game. And so a big focus for Washington this offseason, led by general manager Adam Peters, was to improve the offensive line. And they have. Now, keep in mind that some of these numbers can change depending on the database, but the point here is that this Commanders front has improved drastically from a year ago. They've only given up 33 sacks. That's number 1 in the NFL. The pressure rate given up, this number can vary, but number 1 according to Sumer Sports. Yards per carry for Washington, 4.79, best in the league. Their explosive run rate, 12.47%, also atop the 32 teams in the NFL, and they've surrendered 203 pressures this season. This will be a great test for this Eagles pass rush, especially without Jalen Carter. And since the addition of Jalen Phillips, I think it's helped to elevate everybody along that defensive line. Now you're going to go up against a playoff caliber offensive line. And from a matchup standpoint, I want to see how this Eagles front and defense holds up. Key to the game number 3. I can't wait for this matchup. Quinyon Mitchell against Terry McLaurin. Get your popcorn ready. Now, in the first game between Quinyon and Terry last year, Quinyon won that matchup. In the second matchup between these two, McLaurin had that touchdown downfield. In the third matchup, NFC Championship game, Quinyon had a pick of Jaden Daniels, and I thought he won that matchup against Scary Terry. McLaurin had that contract holdout this offseason, ended up getting paid. It's been a disappointing season for him in Washington, considering the investment, because he's missed a lot of time with various injuries, but he still put up really good numbers, and he's performed very well against the Eagles throughout his career. 26 catches for 409 this year, 3 touchdowns, and is still an explosive threat downfield with that long of 56. But he's going up against Quinyon Mitchell, Quinyon Mobe, and he's familiar with getting clamped by the Eagles' second-year corner, who I think this year is playing at an all-pro level. And look at where Quinyon Mitchell stacks up against all corners across the league. He's number 1 in catch rate, number 3 in passer rating allowed, number 1 in tight window forced, number 1 in average target separation, number 2 in yards after the catch allowed, meaning he's had a lot of blanket coverage this year, 4th in forced incompletions, 4th in passes defended, and in more than 800 total snaps this year, 500 from a coverage standpoint, no touchdowns given up. Another marquee matchup in this ball game, Cooper DeJean, the best slot corner in the NFL, against Deebo Samuel, who's had a solid year. And as we all know, going back to his Niners days, Deebo does not like the Philadelphia Eagles. And he will line up on the inside. He'll line up on the outside. You look at his snap alignment this season, he's been in the slot for 350 snaps. Out wide, 217 snaps. In the backfield as a gadget guy for 13 snaps. So there will be times when Deebo and Cooper DeJean are matched up one-on-one against one another. Deebo will also see Adoree Jackson on the outside. Adoree Jackson, not a great tackler. Cooper DeJean, fantastic tackler. Deebo Samuel has been known as the Yak King since coming into the league as the second-round pick in 2019. So tackling him in space with how physical he is, how hard he is to bring down, going to be a challenge. I think he's had a pretty solid season this year. 65 grabs for 604 yards, 5 touchdowns. Helped to carry the weight of the receiving core when Terry McLaurin was out. And then this is going to be a big one for the Eagles as well. Philadelphia has to stop the Commanders' run game. And since the bye week, it's kind of been up and down for this Eagles rush defense. They've been good against the Packers and the Lions, but bad against the Cowboys and the Bears, especially against Chicago when they gave up 284 rushing yards. This Commanders' rushing offense is efficient, they're explosive, they're consistent, and it has to do with the Commanders' offensive line being very much improved. And there's an avenue in which the Eagles could lose this game, although I'd be very surprised if they do lose. If the Eagles can't stop the run, this would allow the Commanders to control the game, control the clock, and keep this Eagles offense sidelined, which would hamper this Eagles offense because they badly need reps, need snaps to find a groove. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, one of the bright spots for Washington this year. And due to ridiculous college rules, barely played at Arizona last year, but the Commanders draft him, and he's been awesome. 143 carries, 646 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I think that he can continue to be a big factor for this Commanders offense moving forward. His nickname is Bill. You'll hear that on the broadcast. And then for Marcus Mariota, going back to Oregon with Tennessee, when he's gotten opportunities either with the Eagles, Las Vegas Raiders, Washington, they're going to run a lot of RPO, and he's going to keep it. So setting the edge for this Eagles defensive front and this Eagles defense is going to be important, because if you crash, Mariota will keep it on some of these RPOs. Philadelphia got burned on that by Justin Herbert, and so they have to be cognizant of the fact that Mariota on design runs, RPOs, can still gash you with his feet and his legs. And pass rush lane discipline going to be important, because if there's nothing there and you can't get to him, he can take off and pick up first downs, which can be deflating for the defense. Lastly, key to the game number 6. I'm giving you a bonus one compared to what we usually do. Philadelphia has to take care of business. What a wonderful opportunity the Eagles have in front of them to win the NFC East. And if Philadelphia beats Washington on Saturday, they will become divisional winners. And what an opportunity to celebrate back-to-back divisional titles in the NFC East by celebrating on the turf of the Washington Commanders. And as we know, there hasn't been a repeat divisional winner in the NFC East since the Eagles last did it in 2003-2004. So predict the score. Eagles, Commanders coming up on Saturday. Who you got? What's that score prediction? I think Philadelphia wins again in dominant fashion. They cover the spread for the second consecutive week. Give me the Birds 28-18, and in the process, they win the NFC East.